What's up, YouTube? Got a yo-yo review to do today. This is the SF Cadence. So the SF Cadence is Kieran Cooper's signature yo-yo through SF, of course, SF, his sponsor. And I'm just gonna come right out and say it, this is the best yo-yo SF ever did. It's phenomenal. I love it. But let's get into the specs before I gush over it, because I'm gonna gush over it because I think this is one of the best yo-yos this year. So the diameter is 55 millimeters. The width is 46.5 millimeters. The gap width is 4.52 millimeters. Has an 8 millimeter axle, and it weighs in at 65.2 grams, and it is made out of 7068 aluminum. I did confirm that with SF. So yeah, very cool, very nice design, and overall just a phenomenal yo-yo to play with, both for pleasure and competition. It's definitely got a lot of competition vibe to it. It spins a long time. It's a little extra wide. It's super stable. And Kieran has been slaying with it at competitions lately. He recently won, I think, what, Northeast Regionals? Anyway, he just recently won a big regional contest with the Cadence. And it's awesome. Now, I did buy this one. SF is usually very kind, and they just send me stuff. But I wanted to buy one, wanted to support Kieran, wanted to support SF. So I did pick this one up. I do really, really dig it. So thank you to SF for helping me out to snag one of these. Very much appreciated. So let's compare it a little bit. So here it is. Here's the Bliss, which is probably the other best SF yo-yo. Here it is compared to the Bliss. As you can see, it's got a little bit bigger of a diameter, but not much. And widths are rather similar. So if you liked the width of the Bliss, you're going to like the width of the Cadence. The Cadence is actually just a little bit wider than the Bliss. In my opinion, now the Cadence is really just kind of a better, like, Manatee. It's not quite as wide as the Manatee, but it's otherwise very similar in, like, profile. And it kind of has a similar feel on the string, but I think because this is 7068 aluminum, they were able to give it a little more power and just do something a little bit more interesting with the weight distribution. Now, the cup design itself is rather simplistic, which I think is very nice. I like the simplistic design that SF takes with things. Not a ton of cuts, nothing crazy going on as far as cuts within the cup. Very just good for everything kind of things. And this definitely has that SF yo-yos feel to it. But with the addition of, you know, being a little bit more powerful and being a little bit wider and just kind of having a little bit more of a competition-y vibe than the normal SF mono-metal stuff does. The other mono-metal SF stuff is more or less just fun yo-yos, but this is kind of the first, I believe, competition-oriented type SF yo-yo, and I think they knocked it out of the park. Like I said, this is going to be one of the best yo-yos this year. This is phenomenal. This is a really, really fun yo-yo, but that's probably enough of me just jammering on about it. Let's go throw it around a little bit. I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. Guys, we are back with the SF Cadence. So, gonna just go ahead and say it right now. The SF Cadence performs best with a Zipline string. Just gonna throw that out there. But anyway, so first thing you're gonna notice when you throw this thing is that it's got a very familiar SF-esque feel to it, and that's a good thing. It's a little extra wide, very easy to hit on the string, and because there's nothing like inhibiting it on the inside, it's very easy to get off the string and bounce into other things. It rejects very well. There's nothing to get in your way of rejections at all. And overall, it's just a smooth and just awesome. It's a joy to play. It really is. It's really good. It's really, really, really good. Bind's nice, even though the gap is a little bit extra wide. There's really no issues with the binds. They snap back right away. Even like riskier binds that are a little bit tougher to catch, no problem. Grind finish on this is exquisite, as you would expect from an SF yo-yo. That, like, sort of, not quite powdery, but just kind of bead blastediness goodness that SF tends to do, and I am super digging it. It's very stable, very long spinning, and I mean it does everything you want it to do. Thumb grinds, pretty easy on it as well. The rim kind of like juts up a little bit so that you can get your thumb in there. It locks in very nice. Very easy to catch, very easy to do thumb grinds on it. Just, I mean, really good for everything. It's not, it's about right in that sweet spot of it's not too wide, but it's wide enough that it's easy to hit everything. And it's just like, man, they just really knocked it out of the park with this. It's long spinning and stable. I mean, I think 7068 aluminum might be the future. Just saying. Some of the stuff that has been done with it is just is phenomenal, and it blows everything else out of the water. Really think that that's going to be the way. And the grind finishes that they've been getting on 7068 aluminum have particularly also been amazing. As far as finger spin's concerned, there looks like most SFs, there's really nothing to stop you, and this one does kind of have like a flat cap inside of it, so you can kind of get it around the edge of that. And, you know, it's not going to lock in and do those crazy, insane finger spins, but, I mean, you can definitely get some good ones in there. Like, I just got a good one there, and that was, I didn't even try. That's the first finger spin I've thrown today. Probably the first finger spin I've thrown this week, but good for finger spins. Of course, like all SFs, dead smooth. I mean, no vibe, no fingernail vibe, no string vibe, nothing. SF knows how to make a smooth yo-yo. Every yo-yo I've ever gotten from SF has been 10 out of 10, like, sets the bar higher. I didn't know yo-yos could be this smooth. Perfection as far as that's concerned. And at only $55, I mean, this is like probably the best mono-metal in its price range and beyond. SF really killed it with Kieran. I know there was a good bit of back and forth, and they really came out with an amazing product. So let's go ahead, stick it back on the desk. We will take it apart, and I'll show you guys the insides, and we'll do pros and cons. Alright guys, we are back on the desk with the SF Cadence. So let's take this bad boy apart, show you guys the insides, and we shall go from there. Comes apart now. This might actually be the first time I've taken this apart. That's not true. I cleaned the bearing. So anyway, let's look at inside here. So comes with those sort of smoky clear pads that SF uses. Good pads. No issues with the pad. Very, very good response. Very solid. That standard center track bearing that SF always uses. So I have cats, and when I got this on Saturday, Penny was wandering around in their shedding, and cat hair or something got into the bearing, and it made it dirty. And so I had to take it out and clean it. But I cleaned it and lubed it using that method I showed you guys, and dead silent, long spinning, still going, still going, still going. Now it stopped. Okay. I mean, just, it's a great bearing. Awesome bearing. Very, very good. SF always has good bearings. I've never had a problem with a single bearing in any SFs I've had, and I think I've had just about all of them except for the 36, maybe? Yeah, I think that's the only one I haven't had. But these are great. Great yo-yos. So, do pros and cons. Pros, wide, but not too wide. Just the right amount of wide. Great grind finish. Easy finger spins. Easy thumb grinds. Long spinning, stable. Kind of an interesting design. See how it kind of cuts in, it like dips in just a little bit, kind of like the Bliss does. Like it looks like it's straight, but it's not. It just kind of swoops just ever so slightly, which is cool. It's kind of a cool aesthetic once you notice it. Very nice competition WH type of shape. Like I said, super stable. You guys saw long spinning. I like how there's like attention to detail. It's kind of, let's take this part again. It's kind of like it rounds off just a hair. Let's see if we can get that to focus. Yeah, it rounds off just a hair right there. It's like just not a straight edge, it's just rounded over. And that really just helps it get off the string to get into the next like little tech mount or whatever, and that's really amazing because I've been kind of trying to work on that stuff, and the yo-yos that don't have that, the yo-yos that just kind of come to a straight edge, really kind of get stuck. And you know, so for rejections or just kind of like bouncing from one little, you know, intricate tech mount trying to get into another, that is a huge thing, and that really kind of makes or breaks being able to do those tricks for me and being able to work on them. And I appreciate their little bit of attention to detail there, because that is, it's excellent. I mean, really, SF really just knocked it out of the park. You could see the blast kind of goes right down to here, and then it doesn't. It kind of like stops before the edge. It's not as blasted so much, and it doesn't cut your strings, and the response is great. There's really no cons to speak of for this yo-yo. This is, as far as monometals that SF has designed, pretty much the pinnacle and perfect in every aspect of what they're doing with their company and how their design process goes, and what their yo-yos kind of fit that like sort of just pleasingly simple aesthetic. This is, in my opinion, this is the best yo-yo they've ever done, and this is going to be one of the best yo-yos this year. This is absolutely like a phenomenal yo-yo. It's great. Every time I pick it up, I'm happy with it. I'm hitting a new trick, and it's just fun. It's long spinning. It's stable. It's phenomenal. I love it. So great job, SF. Congrats to Kieran Cooper for putting out a just killer signature yo-yo. I don't think I could love this yo-yo anymore. This thing is phenomenal. But that is going to do it for me today, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Please make sure you like and subscribe. I try to do yo-yo videos every day. There's usually 5 or 6 a week. So, you know, there's that. But thanks for watching, guys. Cheers to you. I'll see you next time.